What content marketing strategies should you use for website traffic? My answer is probably different than what you've ever heard before. In fact, I'm going to tell you not to focus on getting your website ranked on Google. I don't want my homepage ranking, and I don't think your homepage is where new prospects should discover you. Instead, I believe that there's a much better strategy that builds trust first, generates way better leads, and naturally guides people to your website when they're actually ready. So in this episode, I'm going to explain the difference between the old way of thinking about SEO and what I now call Answer Engine Optimization, or AEO, and why I believe it's one of the biggest shifts in digital marketing over the last decade. Let's dive right in. Let's start out by talking about SEO. When most people hear that term, they're thinking about what worked before 2015. Back then, SEO meant optimizing your website. You'd optimize your homepage. You'd add keywords to every page. You'd write metadata. You'd build backlinks, and the website was the center of the strategy. But search changed. Today, people aren't searching for websites. They're searching for answers. And that's why I don't call it SEO anymore. I call it Answer Engine Optimization, or AEO. Now, to be clear, I didn't invent the term AEO, but I started using it a decade before somebody else coined the term. The focus is no longer your website. The focus is your content. Instead of optimizing pages, we optimize answers. Instead of focusing on keywords, we focus on questions. Instead of trying to rank one page, we strategically answer every important question inside of a category until we own that branch. And hopefully you can see that that is a completely different strategy. So when someone asks me, are you saying that SEO doesn't work anymore? Well, it depends on what they mean by SEO. If you're talking about the old approach to homepage optimization, keyword stuffing, metadata, and link building, well then no, I don't think that's where your time should go anymore. But if you're talking about creating the best answer to the questions that your dream clients are already asking online, that works better today than it ever has. This is because YouTube indexes that content, Google indexes that content, and ChatGPT references that content. Perplexity, Claude, Grok, you name it. The future belongs to the people who become the best answer to those questions. So let's talk about the customer journey. This is where I think most people get it backwards. They work really hard trying to get strangers onto their home page. Okay, I don't do that. I don't want strangers landing on my home page. Think about why someone searches online in the first place. They don't want a website. They have a question or they have a problem, so they're looking for an answer. They're kind of in a what's in it for me mindset. So that's exactly what I give them. I create a video answering one specific question, or a blog article answering that one question. And when they find it, they get value. They begin trusting me. They understand how I think, and only then do I invite them to my website, and not to my homepage, but to a specific landing page that relates to them. That's a big difference. Most people think that landing pages are only for paid advertising. Well, I use them for search. Every landing page can continue the exact conversation that started with the content. If someone watches a video about leadership style, then why would I send them to a homepage that talks about 20 different things? Instead, I send them to a landing page specifically built for someone interested in leadership style. Maybe I offer them a checklist or a guide or a worksheet or some free resource or training. Then on the thank you page, I can continue the relationship. I explain the next step. That entire experience is designed specifically for the person who asked that initial question. Now, compare that to your homepage. A homepage has a completely different job. It has to explain everything: who you are, who you help, your books, your consulting, your keynote speaking, your courses. It'll have a link to your podcast or your blog or all the resources that you have. It has to appeal to everyone who already knows you, and you just need to provide them what they're searching for and give them quick answers. So that's why I believe the homepage is for warm traffic, people who are referred to you, people you met at an event, people who already know your name. People come to your homepage because they want to explore, they want to understand everything you offer, and that's exactly what a homepage should help them do. But someone discovering you for the very first time who doesn't know you, They shouldn't have to sort through all of that. They should get one question answered, one problem solved, one clear next step. So don't misunderstand me. I love it when people browse my website, but after we've built trust. Once someone has watched one of my videos or downloaded a resource, they've learned who I am, now I want them exploring. I want them reading about my programs, watching other videos, learning about my services, because now they're curious. They're not evaluating whether they trust me anymore. They're exploring how I can help them. They're in a different mindset, and to me, that's the biggest mistake that I still see most businesses making. They're trying to get their website to build the trust, and I don't want my website building trust. I want my content building trust. Then my website simply becomes the next step in that relationship. And I don't measure success by homepage traffic. I measure success by discoverability. Are people finding my content? Are they getting their questions answered? Are they building trust? Are they taking the next step? That's what generates leads. Now, we are in a new age of AI, and this is becoming even more important. People don't search with 2 or 3 keywords anymore. They're asking complete questions. They're describing their exact situation. They're explaining what they're trying to accomplish. Well, that makes it easier than ever for answer engines to match them with the best content, not to the best website, but to the best answer. So if you're wondering what content marketing strategy you should use to get website traffic, my advice is simple. Stop trying to send strangers to your homepage, but start answering questions that your dream clients are already asking. Build trust first. Then invite them to a landing page designed specifically for that conversation. When you optimize for the customer journey, the website will take care of itself. So if you're willing to think about website traffic differently, then the next question is obvious. How do you know what content to create then? Well, most people start by brainstorming ideas or researching keywords or asking ChatGPT. That's not where I start. That's not what I recommend. Before I create a piece of content, I go through a strategic process that tells me exactly what topics are worth creating, which categories can actually be owned, and how to build a content strategy that attracts the right people instead of just general traffic. That's exactly what I show you in this next episode. It's called Thought Leadership Starts Here. And once you understand that framework, everything else we talked about in this episode will make a whole lot more sense. So I'll see you in that next episode.